Hello and welcome back to a brand new vlog. My name is Sophie.
My name's Chris.
And this is the channel called Sophie Elise. So it's where I take you out and about on daily life, week to week, and we just take you through what we're up to, talk a little bit about our wedding, if we're going anywhere, sort of travelling, things like that. And today's vlog is going to be all about buying our first house, which is a journey we are right at the beginning of. So grab yourself a cuppa, get comfortable, and yeah, enjoy. You got your cup of coffee?
Yep.
I have got my chocolate milk, which is such an adult drink, but it's just kind of what I fancied. So yeah, today on the vlog we are having a bit more of a kind of sit down vlog because we wanted to tell you a little bit about what we are thinking in terms of buying a house. So at the moment we are renting. How long have you been renting?
Overall, since we were in uni.
Yeah.
In this particular place, we've been here about a year and a half, something like that.
Just over, I think we got this place back in October of the previous year, so not 2020 but 2019.
Yeah.
Now Chris, as I've told you previously, is going to be 30 this year and I'm going to be 28 this year. And we are at the stage where
Sophie, you're 29 this year.
Oh yeah, I'm 29 this year. That's so sad.
That's staying
in. But we're at the stage where we have been thinking about buying a house. Now we should have been already about a year into buying the house.
We should have been about a year into happily married life.
Yeah, happily married life. Obviously Corona's put all of that back, as many people have. But we finally decided that actually we need to get ourselves in gear and just decide what our next steps are. So that's kind of what this vlog is going to be about, and we're just going to chat you through what we're thinking and what we're looking at for the time to come. And yeah, we're also going to be showing you some footage of some places. So the first housing development that we went to visit is a place not too far from here called Thurston Park. Now this is actually by Hopkins Homes, and two of the developments we're talking about today were by Hopkins Homes. What I would say for us is that we are looking at a variety of different places. So Thurston's a village. One of the other places that we looked at was actually a housing development in Ipswich, so that's a town.
Yep.
We also then looked at a market town as well. So we've looked at a few different kind of ones, and we'll show you a little bit about those. But for me, I think I realised quite quickly, especially when I got out the car at Thurston, what I like about the smaller developments. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, lots of space, and it's quiet. You know, some of the places we've been are either quite built up. There's lots of houses kind of on top of each other, or it can be quite close to main roads and things like that. So having somewhere that's kind of not even secluded, just kind of, you know, not so built up and a bit more breathable. Nice.
So when we got to Thurston, we met, I can't remember her name, was it Alison? I want to say Alison.
Yes.
It could be something different. And she said we could have a look at both show homes. Now, the first show home that we went to see was effectively, now we've got our list of houses.
It was actually a gold crest.
It was a gold crest, but what she said to us was it's effectively the same as the field fair, which is what we were really interested in.
Yeah. If we ignored one room.
Yeah. Which, as soon as you got to the top of the stairs, there was another bedroom. So she said, just shut that door, have a look around, and let me know what you think. So this is the footage from then. So we've just come inside the, what one's this? The one that would be like the field fair. And we're just having a look at the kitchen, which I really like. I love this layout, like a nice big open kitchen.
Yeah.
And that dining room table. And I love that nook.
No, utilities nook.
Yeah, the utility nook.
So I guess you have all the bits here.
But you could have your washer dryer under there.
Yeah.
Have a look under there, see if they're...
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah. Yeah, so you could put a dryer in as well.
I think that is a dryer. And
then you've got a nice little cupboard. So we could always... That's really nice. So then it goes, that would be the outside. So that would lead to your garden.
Yeah.
Ah, this would be the front door.
Okay.
And then downstairs bathroom.
Love the wallpaper.
Do you really?
Yes.
I think that wallpaper is hideous.
I love it.
And then this would be the living room.
Yeah.
This is a decent sized living room.
It's a nice space.
Compared to some of the new builds we've looked at. Oh, the carpet's so soft. So she said you need to shut this door here because the hallway, 1 bedroom, 2.
So I'm going to assume these will both be cupboards.
Little cupboards.
And another one there behind you.
Where the boiler is. Smallest room. Oh my god, I love this.
Home office.
It's the family bathroom. That is a nice big bath. There's plenty of room in here. They've got the shower there, but you could have a shower.
That's nice.
This is the spare bedroom, which is big enough. Is there storage in here though? Because that's the only... Oh, lovely. So there is storage.
It's quite nice.
For a spare room.
It's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not.
On to the master.
Not a bad size.
Oh, it's actually big. Oh, it's bigger than I thought.
Don't get me wrong, it's not massive like our current one, but for a new build, rather well sized.
The only thing is storage.
Cupboard there.
Yeah, but the other property we looked at had built-in wardrobes.
Well, that's why I'd like to have a look at the townhouse, darling.
I know. Oh, that shower though.
Yeah.
That was the field fair that you just saw, or effectively it was the Gold Crest, but like I say, we shut that room, although we did go and obviously have a peek in it, because of course you do. For me, I really liked the field fair. When I first walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, this kitchen, those units, the colour of those units was just wow.
Yeah, and speaking to her actually when we came out, and we were chatting to her about it, she said the kitchen was actually hand painted. Because it's a show home, it's obviously like the Rolls Royce of houses. So
it's always worth remembering that they will do everything high spec when they do that. So everything that you see, a lot of it is extra. It's
good to show you what you can do with the space, but yeah, bear in mind that unless you've got like 10, however many grand to spend on decorating, you probably won't make the same space.
Yeah. Obviously it had the downstairs toilet and it had that lounge.
Yeah.
That downstairs toilet, that wallpaper
Love it.
was awful. He loved it.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Don't really understand that. Then obviously we went up the stairs and we saw those bedrooms. Now the bedrooms were really lovely. I really liked all the bedrooms. I liked the ensuite. However, for me, I think after the initial, this is really nice, where do I was like, 1 minute, where would we put stuff? And those cupboards were really small, like really, really small. I don't think for us, knowing what sort of storage we use now, and I was sort of looking at the space in the rooms, I don't know whether you could put sort of chest of drawers and stuff in there. So I think it is good, but at the same time, I'm not sure on this storage. The living room I think is a nice size, but you'll see some houses later that have what I prefer in the layout.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see why.
Hosting space is very important. We're reasonably social people, and you've got quite a big family.
I've got a huge family. So there's me, I've got a twin sister, a younger sister, 2 stepsisters, and when all the sisters are together and all our partners are together, and we're all within the range of like 6 years, so we're pretty close. There's 10 of us, and that's before even adding like my dad and my stepmom and my uncle. So, you know, we want a big enough space for everybody. Yeah. And that was the other thing for me, is that some of these plots, now there are different versions of the same house and different plots, and the different plots can have a different garden.
Yeah.
Because the gardens typically for new builds are pretty small.
They can be. But you can get lucky. You know, we've seen certain plots, and we'll look at other places later on that do have larger gardens. You can get lucky in terms of how they're laid out, but I think generally with a new build, you know that you're not going to have a massive amount of space. It's not unheard of. You can get places that are larger, but generally I think they're maybe on the smaller side.
Yeah. So the next house that she let us go into was the Brambling. And this was one of the houses that we were looking at online. It was one of the ones we'd seen on the website, and it was definitely a house that we were interested in.
On our shortlist.
It's on our shortlist. So yeah, take a look at that now. We're now in the Brambling. If you come in, that would be your back door. And this is the kitchen / diner. Now I love how those doors open up like that into the living room. This kitchen.
There's good space in the kitchen.
There's much more storage. Although I preferred, the other one was a bit bigger, I think. But I love this. Like your tea and your coffee.
I like the big freestanding fridge, to be fair. I know it's not inbuilt, but you do have more space that way.
This is lovely.
Let's have a walk through.
Okay. Should we go through the living room?
Yes.
So that would walk into your living room.
Big double doors.
Big double doors. And there's plenty of space in here. If there's more space in this living room than the development in Ipswich.
It's probably a bigger living room than the one next door as well.
Yes.
Nice big windows at the front as well.
Space for a 3-seater. You could have another big cuddle chair there. Another chair over here. You could have your TV on the wall.
I think these are bigger windows than
Love the windows.
Field fair as well.
So this would be your normal entrance. So yeah, it's a thinner entrance hall, but actually,
don't need it.
Downstairs toilet, which actually makes better use of the space.
Yeah.
In my opinion. You have 2 entrances to the kitchen. You can get in through there. There's another one of these cupboards. Perfect for storage.
Head upstairs.
Let's go. Like this one, it's the whole thing. This is
Yes.
the brambling.
Lovely big family bathroom.
Love the bathroom. That's nice. This is another 3-bedroom. This would be a spare bedroom. I think this is the smallest spare bedroom, but this is better.
Storage.
It's that same type of storage in these houses.
It's not a bad amount, but it's not as much as we've seen elsewhere.
But it would only be us who live in here permanently, so we could use the other rooms.
For now.
Then down here, yeah, that's where.
Yeah, boiler.
So you could keep towels and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Wow. See? Yay! Yes, this is the storage I'm talking about.
This is really good.
Huge amount of storage.
Love that. That'd be good fun for kids.
This is the master. Lovely size master. Oh, and that big ensuite. I'd much prefer this to the last one we just looked at. That mirror is ever so high. I don't know. Why would they put that there? That is ridiculous. I could never do my hair. This is the other spare bedroom, which this one would be over the garage and the porch, I think. But it's really big for a spare bedroom. I guess the only reason it's not the master is because it doesn't have the ensuite in here.
This one, she's saying, had a double ensuite.
No, the townhouses have the double ensuite. We can't see that today.
Right.
But this is huge.
Nice. I love this little dressing table.
Yeah, that's really nice. Really nice second bedroom. Nice skylights. Better lighting.
Much better lighting than the one we had. And it's
So yeah, that was the brambling, and this one was the one that we first had walked into, and we thought this is really nice. We can see ourselves. For me, although the kitchen was technically smaller than the fieldfare, I liked the layout of it. I liked the fact that that little dining room table was in there. And what I really liked was the way those doors opened up through into that kitchen.
Loved
the
it.
double doors that gave it that flow. And that's what I was talking about a minute ago for the fieldfare. Didn't have that. It was just a living room. Where this, you could have people spilling through the kitchen, dining area into that living room.
It's not as airy as open plan, but you still have some, if you're busy.
And we'll show
doing
you a really
else.
airy open plan coming up soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a lovely kind of, I guess, more of a home that I could see us doing a bit more with in terms.
Definitely.
The bedrooms were a really good size because it's the link attached and it's link attached via a carport. The guest bedroom, the second guest bedroom, is a double, and that is over the carport. So it didn't have any built-in wardrobes, however, plenty of space to put wardrobes and drawers in there.
And for a guest room, it's ideal because you don't necessarily need all that storage for a guest room.
Exactly. And then there was the smaller room, which actually was pretty good for a small room because it still had a double bed in from what I can remember. And then the master bedroom had that built-in wardrobe, which obviously you took a little wander through. And it had a really, really nice ensuite.
And it did have a lovely ensuite actually, and that's a big, our previous flat had an ensuite and we got very used to it.
I miss it.
And then having moved to a house, it's lovely. Like I missed having stairs. Yeah. But the lack of ensuite is just meh.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. But we'll get there. We will get our ensuite back. So yes, that was the brambling. So that was both the houses that we looked at at Thurston.
Now there was one other that we liked at Thurston. Now we never saw it in person because they didn't have a show home of it. But it was the Kite.
It was the Kite.
Now that's more of a 3-story townhouse. I don't think we got any footage.
We didn't get any footage.
So essentially, Alison had said we don't have one here, but actually at Needham Market, Hopkin Homes have another development, and we'd never really looked into it. We didn't really know about it, but they had one there as their show home. And if we wanted to go across and see them later in the day, we could go and do that and maybe have a look.
So she actually gave us the number. We phoned and spoke to Jordan,
Yeah.
and we nipped across to St George's Park. And we'll tell you a bit more about St George's Park towards the end of this video, because we didn't get any footage from it, but it's definitely worth talking about.
I'm out of coffee.
So on to the next house and the next development, which was more of a just outside of a major town near where I work.
It's actually very close to where you work.
Very close. Like literally I could get to work in
5 minutes.
Probably just over 5 minutes, like a good little drive, but particularly close. Further away, however, from family.
Yeah, indeed. And I think at the start that wasn't really something we'd considered, but I think the more and more we thought about it, the more and more, I mean, especially when we do eventually have kids, it
having that childcare kind of nearby, I think it's
be a little more difficult if we were further away.
Yeah, it became kind of something that we were thinking about and talking about while we were looking at these places. Now, when we got to this place, which is called Marham Park. Now, Marham Park is a big housing development, where the last one that we looked at was maybe coming up on 100 houses, maybe just over 100 houses. This one, you're looking at sort of at least 300, 400 houses, plus. I think, plus. And they hadn't actually finished. They'd done a lot, and there were a lot of houses there. And there was a huge bit that we could see that was reserved by someone else. But there were 3 different property, sort of, what
it's not all the same company. There's 3 different development
housing
companies.
estate, whatever they are. So there was Countryside Properties, who we visited. There was
Bellway were just starting
one. There was a David one and something else, I can't remember exactly, but it was a big place. And
we were looking at the Countryside Properties one.
We had looked online and we'd seen the Countryside Properties, and I'd seen them being built, so I thought it would be really nice to go and have a look. Now, we were very honest always when we got in touch with these places.
Indeed. We were quite early, we explained we were quite early in the process. We're looking to see, I mean, A, is this the kind of place we'd like to live? And B,
we want to have a goal.
Could get for our money.
Yeah, that was main reason for actually going and physically looking, and we probably should have mentioned that, was that how much do we need to save in order to get something we want, and what is the realistic goals and timeframes, and how does it work? Because I've never bought a house before.
There's no point us saving for this dream house at a place where actually by the time we have that deposit, they're all gone.
Exactly.
So it was something that's realistic.
And Hopkins, by the way, were amazing. Like every person that we spoke to completely understood. They laid out all the time frame, and really interesting thing to note was something we weren't really sure about. But you can reserve a house, and when you reserve the house, you don't have to pay that deposit. It's when you finally then exchange contracts. So you know that house is going to be yours, but you can continue saving. So for us, that was really big, and that can be up to 6 months in advance.
Which is great, because it means you can secure that dream home if that's the one you want, and if it's maybe like the last plot or something, because that would be a big stress. And then in 6 months down the line you finish saving, or you've scrimped and saved or whatever, and you're there. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and along the way you get to choose all the fixtures and fittings. So being able to kind of get one that's right at the beginning, upgrades. That's for us is more what we're after.
Yes.
But anyway, we went to Countryside Properties. Now, when we first pulled up, the first thing I noticed was how much I could hear the main road, for one.
Very near the A14, which is a main sort of dual carriageway running through East London.
I couldn't hear any birds, which I've been able to hear at Thurston, which I loved. That was big. Everywhere I went, I was like, I can hear the birds, I can't hear the birds. And there was just a lot of people around, and it just felt busy. So as soon as we pulled up, we weren't that keen on the development, but we thought we'll go in, we'll speak to them, we'll see the house. And when we went in, we spoke to a representative of the company.
Lynn.
Yes, Lynn. And she was nice, but in all honesty, I think she wasn't that happy that we had booked, maybe just for the interest in the talk. She was very much wanting us to buy now. I personally found her a little bit rude. Which you did as well. But, Countryside Properties, it's nothing on them.
No.
It just was kind of the sort of vibe that we got. She only showed us one house, and it was one house that we'd mentioned, but there were other houses that we were more interested in. But every time we tried to talk about future developments, she just kept bringing us back.
What's
There's
available
one
now?
plot left. There's this one plot left. And she was like, even suggesting, they have this theme called Bank of Mum and Dad. and she was like, you know, if someone can just gift you the deposit now, if someone can just gift you it now, or you know, get this now, we've got one plot left. And it just very much felt like she just kind of wanted us to buy that and for it to be that. Now, the house that she actually showed us was called the Marlowe. Well, I don't know what it was called. She said everything on the first 2 floors would be included in the Marlowe if we were to go for a Marlowe.
It's identical.
And the top floor, just to ignore that.
Yeah.
But obviously, we didn't ignore that.
Well,
we learned how to look. Now, this house was pretty spectacular.
Oh, fantastically designed and
I
sort
mean,
of decorated.
it's definitely a wow factor when you walk in, and it's definitely a party house.
Yeah.
And
massive open plan on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Like, you could host some phenomenal parties if you wanted to.
Yeah. We loved it when we first went in, and I think that you'll see why. Look at that space. Imagine just doing your cooking, bringing over, serving a tea.
It's massive.
Having cocktails. Little dog.
It's hard to try and do it justice on here. But I do love these
I didn't think I'd like
upstyle relaxed windows.
Okay, should we go look upstairs?
Yeah. Let's follow Sophie.
Wow.
More storage?
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow,
There's
full
like a
on bike.
In there. Show you how much storage there is.
That's a great amount of space actually.
Make sure you don't leave top floor. Oh my god.
So this is the second
Don't
floor.
go into hate yet. So this is the bathroom.
Which is a fine size.
Yeah, lovely. This would be the smaller bedroom. Ready?
I need to zoom out. There you go, go for it. Listen to those knees.
I'm trying.
Come through to the second bedroom.
They're big bedrooms.
That is a really good size. Also, we've got wardrobe storage. There's no real cupboard storage.
The mirror.
So this would be the second bedroom, I take it,
Yes, this is the second.
with quirky wallpaper.
Yeah, you'd have to put your own storage, but there's plenty of space in here to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
This is the master bedroom.
Oh, Jason.
Oh my god. The size of it.
It's a wardrobe that is built in. But you could have more wardrobes, you could have another one.
Well, she did say the built-in wardrobes aren't included, but all of your lighting and white goods are.
Oh my god, the size of this one's sweet.
Wait for it. Big reveal. Oh wow. Could have a party in here.
I mean, this is stunning. Like, I do love it. So, yeah, that was the Marlin. As you can see, it was definitely a wow factor.
That mirror was fantastic.
The mirror was amazing, and I now want like the biggest mirror.
Wall of mirrors.
Just, yeah, huge mirror. I loved the fact that it was really open plan. The bedrooms were huge. Apart from the children's bedroom, actually, that one was a little bit smaller, the one that had the ballet bar.
Yeah, that was odd.
You couldn't fit a double in there, but
Was
it was still nice. You know, the way they designed it, I think, with the colour schemes and everything. But that master bedroom, I mean, just huge. I mean, it had, like, you could have a lounge in there. It was like the size of this, if not bigger than where we are right now. And actually, when we walked out of there, I don't know again how you felt, but I remember us having a bit of a conversation. Don't think we caught it on camera. Yeah. But I just felt it was too much for us.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't think we would have decorated ours that way, but in terms of house and space, yeah, maybe
and I think it would have felt a bit cold in the winter, having all that open space. It was lovely because it was sunny when we went there.
Yeah.
But that, combined with the development being this place that we didn't really vibe with.
Very busy and
Yeah, we kind of ruled that one out. So yeah, Marham Park, Fallen Place, they gave us, by the way, literally so much paperwork. I mean, this is only half of it on the table here.
That was a lot.
Hopkins Homes, much better. Everything in one. So yeah, get your act together, Countryside Homes. Less of the paperwork.
But it's not a competition.
It's not a competition, but yeah, definitely less. So this was the Marlow just here. Now you wouldn't actually get 2 garages. It's a bit cheeky really, because you only get 1 garage.
Yeah.
When it shows you 2 there. But yeah, so anyway, ruled that one out.
Yeah.
So that is done. So yeah, so that's probably a good point to then bring us on to the last development.
Yeah. So we'd had the whole day going out to houses. We'd gone to we'd gone to Bury St Edmunds, Thurston. We'd gone to Fulham Place.
We'd been to the Ipswich one.
And on the way home, we were actually driving, and we called Jordan at Needham Market. He very kindly managed to squeeze us in. He said he's got some free time, so he'll come and see us. So we pulled up, and it was just this gorgeous little area.
So this is the St George's Park, and I might be able to put this up, but this is kind of the pictures inside. Now, this housing development is being built currently, and it will be finished by 2023. They've got a fair few houses up, but they're going to be continuing to build onto that, which was really great for us because
the timescales work.
The timescales work much better. Now, it's also only going to be 75 houses, so it's a pretty small development in an old quarry.
Yeah, I love that.
Again, it's Hopkins Homes, who we have read really good things about, really like them.
Yeah.
Needham Market is quite different to Newmarket. Needham Market is a market town, so there are many shops around. You're only 10-minute drive as well from Stowmarket, where you've got like the bigger shops, but it's got some lakes, which are just really lovely.
Yes.
There
lots of
are
wildlife.
5 different pubs.
Which is fine, probably.
I mean, we live next door to a pub right now, but we don't really use that. But it'd be nice that in the future, you know, we could walk down to the pub maybe, have a local.
Another local.
There's butchers, there's bakers, there's little shops. It's a
just
real
a
kind of
market town.
Nice market town,
Really
and
nice vibe. Kind of place I imagine where your neighbours are all very friendly.
Yeah. And it was only 12 minutes from Ipswich, so in terms of kind of
childcare
and parents,
seeing friends.
Needham Market makes a lot of sense to us.
And I can still get the train to Norwich if need be.
So in fact, this is the map. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that is going to be the whole development.
Yeah.
So it's not very big at all. And they've probably built just this kind of side of it over here. And they're going to be building all of this.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we went over there actually to see the kite, because we hadn't been able to see that. We weren't even considering the Needham Market place, even when we were driving there.
No.
But when we got there...
Yeah, really kind of wow factor. I mean, it's still, it kind of sits in this little bowl of the disused quarry, and you've still got the rock face on one side, and it's just this natural kind of buffer. There's no road noise.
Yeah, and so many birds. I could hear the birds. I could, you know, the
You're
sun
very near
was coming over.
the Needham lakes.
Yeah,
so,
there's a beautiful pond that they've built right in the middle, and it surrounds the pond.
Green spaces. There's a little play area in the middle as well. So we really liked the vibe.
That wasn't the one that we went to.
The camping is what we came to see.
No, it wasn't, sorry. We saw the older. I don't think I got that.
Sorry. So we came to see the three-story townhouse, which was...
This is the older.
That one there.
Just here. And again, I'll put some links to this so you guys can have a look.
I don't think we took any footage in the older because Jordan had come with us.
Because the guy came with us, and what we were actually essentially seeing was a house that had already been bought by a lady.
Yeah.
It wasn't a show home or anything like that, but he had one there. He was selling another one, and he'd have more coming up. So we saw it at a very kind of basic. She'd got everything at standard level, so it was nice to see what you would get.
Yeah, a nice comparison.
The room sizes were great.
Yeah.
There was storage, you know, sort of the small amount of storage. There was those kind of walk-in wardrobes upstairs in the bedroom. There was that kitchen and dining bit that opened up that I really liked.
Yes.
But this one had that master suite on the top, so it was kind of between the Brambling and the Fieldfair. And also the one we saw in Ipswich was the master suite upstairs. And
again, the master suite having sort of the vaulted ceilings and maybe a little less headroom in places.
Yeah, and you really liked the older.
I did, yeah. Worth noting as well that all of the properties we're chatting about all also have parking. Now, it's something that Hopkins Homes do with all their properties. I think most things that are 3-bedroom and above tend to have a garage.
All 3-bedroom have a garage.
Yes,
but all houses, even the sort of 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, always have car parking space, at least one.
Yeah.
But some of them will have 2, and then 3 bedrooms and above will always have at least 1 garage.
Yes, which is great. I would adore having a garage.
Yeah.
All about that Project Car Life.
So after that, we had the walk around development. We also spoke to Jordan a bit more, who was so accommodating,
really helpful,
really nice. Friendly, really nice guy. And he actually showed us some plans for a house that hadn't even built yet, hadn't even got a name for it.
Yeah.
But it just combined everything, a little part of everything that we've been looking at.
Yeah.
And there's only going to be a couple built, but they're not obviously there yet, so we can't go and see them at all.
So that's one that's really caught your eye.
So that's one that's caught our eye. And the other one that they have is another townhouse.
Yes.
And this is the Campion.
So it's a little different from the other townhouses we've seen in that it doesn't have that top floor being the vaulted master bedroom. It's actually a bit taller and a bit wider. Essentially your first floor and second floor are traditionally like anything else. But the bottom floor, you've got this lovely little day room, which would make a great little office or something like that.
So compared to other ones, this is what Chris talked about, the garage is actually kind of built into the house. So when you first go in, you can actually get into the garage from sort of inside the house. From your lobby, from your lobby, which is nice. Then it also has a utility room, utility room here, sorry.
So all your washing and laundry is separate.
Yeah, so you can do like your washing, your laundry down here. That goes out into the garden, so you could hang it up.
Yeah.
Then you've got the day room, which we really like, so we've got pet rabbits, so they could be in here. True. You could have a little office in here.
I don't mind having an office with the bunnies.
Opens out into the garden. This is all garage, and then you go upstairs. Now, when you get upstairs on the next level, it opens up into a kitchen diner and sort of an open plan big living room. So that's all kind of one space. It had those kind of double doors which open up between them.
Now, we haven't actually seen any of these, but just going on dimensions, I mean, the kitchen, dining room and the living room are both massive compared to other things that we've seen, because you don't have all of that sort of lobby space and you know, a downstairs wash closet and all that kind of thing. You have so much more room in that sort of living area, and in terms of hosting, I think that's fantastic. And
then you go upstairs again, and then you have a smaller bedroom, but you can still fit a double. Bedroom 2, which would be a guest bedroom, family bathroom, and the master bedroom, which would have that walk-in sort of wardrobe bit here, and also an ensuite. And that is actually a walk-in wardrobe. That's not just like built-in wardrobe. So you go in, and it's like its own little room, very little room, but it is there.
It's worth noting. I think the main sort of thing we found doing this, and certainly, I mean, I'm a numbers guy, so I've sat looking at like what the different dimensions are between a couple of the different ones that we really liked. I think there's kind of a trade-off. Certainly with that one, I think the bedrooms are all maybe a little bit smaller, not drastically, but a little bit. But you do get then that added benefit of having so much more hosting space.
Yeah, and having that day room, which effectively is another room that you're gaining.
We wouldn't call it that because Help to Buy, but yeah, technically you could essentially make that either a office or a study or a rabbit room if you're one with house rabbits.
Now there is one also that's very much like the Campion, but slightly bigger.
Called the U.
That's called the U, and that's still within our price range.
Yeah.
So we're looking at...
It's maybe only a metre or so longer and about the same sort of width. So it's a marginal sort of size gain, but you do get a bit of a bigger day room and a bit of a bigger kitchen and living room, and the bedrooms are all a little bit bigger. So
so the Campion is 325,000. Now I haven't got prices for the U, but that's around the mark that we're really looking at. And it's worth noting that St George's Park was probably about 15 grand to 20 grand cheaper on the same type of house compared to when we went to Thurston, even though they're the same blueprint technically.
Bury St Edmunds is what you might call a maybe a slightly posher area for those with slightly higher incomes.
Definitely more upmarket. So the closer you get to Bury, the more expensive, and actually the closer you get to Ipswich, because it's a main town with the main links to London.
And it means that Needham is actually this lovely little sweet spot in between where the properties are actually a little bit cheaper, or quite a bit cheaper in some places, and actually you still have some of the same amenities and sort of closeness to places.
And with all of these properties, like I say, they're all within roughly the same price, and
all roughly the budget we were looking
at, and it's very, very similar to
and
that
all within
deposit.
Help to Buy limit.
All in the Help to Buy limit, which in England is in the east of England is 407,000, but we'd be looking at a bit less than that.
Help to Buy is a really cool scheme. It basically means you don't need a full 20% deposit for a house. It can be anywhere from 5% and up, which means that rather than us saving for 2 or maybe even 3 years, we can do it in maybe 1.5, 2.
Yeah, and that's because we're quite lucky in what we're able to save as well. It's important to kind of say that, you know, but it does for us help us be able to save rather than, for example, sort of £45,000. It's the difference between that and saving like 17,500, isn't it? So. And
we're still in full wedding saving mode, so it wouldn't be that much of like a lifestyle change for us.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this probably in next week's vlog, but we've just literally rearranged the entire wedding again for the 3rd time, so to our 4th wedding date, and obviously it's coming with some costs. So this way of buying a house definitely is a good opportunity. But do you want to explain a bit more about what actually sort of
essentially you still need a deposit. That hasn't changed. Traditionally you would need something like a 20% mortgage. In the past it could have been something like 10 or 15. Generally these days about 20%, which is a big old hit if you're buying a house for whatever value really. If you're buying a new build in England at the minute, you can put down a 5% deposit and the government will give you up to 20% as an additional deposit. Now it's not free money, worth noting that. It's something called an equity loan. What that basically means is that the government own that percentage of your house for the moment. That's not a forever thing.
They basically top up your deposit. So you put down a 5% deposit and they will give you another 20% part of that deposit. So what you're effectively putting down all together is 25%, but they own that 20% of your house because they put down 20% on it. It's difficult to say.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. So then from the mortgage point of view, it's the exact same. You get a 75% loan value mortgage and you pay it off in monthly installments as you would anything else. And
so somewhere around the sort of 700 mark, or depending on where you're buying.
Depends where and how much you've borrowed and everything else. Now, the equity bit then kind of sits in the background for a while. The government still own 20% of your house. And essentially, either by the time that you come to finish your mortgage or by the time you come to sell that home, you then need to pay back or have paid back that equity loan.
That 20%.
You can do it at any time. It doesn't happen monthly.
But it has to be in 10% chunks.
Yeah, which is
so you can't just kind of pay it back a little bit each month on top of your mortgage.
Yeah.
What you would need to do, and this is something we discussed because I was quite worried about the whole equity loan thing, and I don't want to get ourselves in debt or anything like that. And you know, what if we get to the end of whenever we have to pay it back by, and we'll tell you all about that in a second, and we suddenly have thousands of pounds. So the way that they want you to do it is to pay it back in these 10% chunks. So we were talking about if it was us, for example, and this is the route that we go down, we would have a savings account where each month, as well as paying the mortgage, we put a certain amount into the savings account so that we can then start saving those chunks up.
And in 5, 6, 7 years, we pay off the first 10%, and then another little bit down the line, we pay off the rest.
Yeah, so it's eventually paid off. But it's worth mentioning after the 5th year that you have to actually start paying interest.
Yes.
Which would be about £50-60 a month, depending again on how much that you've actually borrowed and if you've paid any back. So for us, what was really important was after the first 5 years that we've paid back half of the equity loan.
Yes.
Because that's going to bring that interest down.
So a couple of things. One thing, first 5 years are interest free, which is going to be actually a lot cheaper than if you had mortgaged that amount, because mortgages do have interest fees and they can be quite high sometimes. Beyond that, it's something like 1.75% interest. Not a tremendous amount, not that bad. You will pay that until you pay off the loan. Yeah,
so you can either, sort of the equity loan basically will either run for, I think it's a period of 25 years normally is what they say. You should have paid it back within that time. Or if you pay off your mortgage, so that's an opportunity. I did read that you can extend the equity loan as well. So if you got a longer mortgage, you could do it for that.
Yeah, the minimum term I think is 25 years. But if you had like a 40-year mortgage,
then
it's
it
a
would be
40-year
40-year equity loan.
Yeah.
But then obviously you pay more interest, so it's worth paying it back sooner. The other thing is, if you were to sell your house sooner, then you would effectively lose money if you hadn't paid back that equity loan, because you would also have to give a percentage of what you get the house sort of sold for to the government, because technically they would own whatever percentage of your equity loan you had left.
Still had outstanding, yeah.
Now, with new builds, one of the things is, it's a bit like a new car. When you buy a new build, you're buying a house that's very expensive. So, you know, you could be looking at, for example, 300 odd plus, sort of £1,000. And when you first buy that house, the price is going to depreciate very quickly over probably the first 5 years even. And then generally, from what we have read, it will kind of even out, and then you'll start to kind of go up again.
Might go up, might go down.
So if you're looking at a new build, it's really important to think about whether or not you're going to actually be selling that new build, or whether you're looking for something a little bit more long term. Because if you've not paid off that equity loan, remember you're going to lose money there as well. So if you're going to move, say in 3 years, if it's just to start a home and you want somewhere bigger, then, you know, a new build, some people have got into really sort of stuck situations.
The thing that's worth noting, when the government owns 20% of your house, that amount that you've borrowed can vary. So if the house becomes more expensive, that 20% you own, rather than being maybe 40 grand, might be 45 or 50 or 60.
Because you basically have more though as well invested in the house than you bought it for.
Yeah.
But
Although
equally,
if it goes down in value, you could actually save money off your loan. So if you're in the unlucky position where your house is now worth less, which it might do, you would pay back less than what you borrowed, but probably not very likely with a new build. They tend to be pretty stable.
Yeah, they tend to be, after a few years, they tend to be pretty stable and pretty good. The other thing to mention with a new build, and it's something that we have discussed, is people often worry about the quality of new builds. Now, there are definitely some companies that are better than others. Definitely worth doing your research and having a look and seeing sort of the reviews on them. And something that we have discovered that you can get done, and if we go down this route we would, is called a snag report. Now, a snag report is normally about £800 to £1,000 depending on which company you go for. But basically, once you've bought the new house, within the 7-day period that you have to report anything, they bring in proper sort of contractors in their trade, and they will go from top to bottom, everything from the roof to the pipe work to everything. And if it's not up to standard and it's not up to scratch, they write a full report for you. They send that away, and then it is down to the company that you've bought the house from to make sure that all of those things are fixed and are of an adequate level before you move in. So you can do it in the right way, but it's just making sure that you know everything. That's kind of where we are at the moment. Lots to think about.
Yeah.
Lots to consider. Obviously, you know, is new build what we want? Is it going to provide us somewhere where we're going to be staying for a while?
Yeah.
Do we want maybe perhaps a traditional mortgage on a, you know, current build, a fixer-upper, something like that? And that might be something now with this new scheme that's just been announced today.
Yeah.
I feel like whenever we do these videos at the moment, they announce something new that changes everything we've been talking about.
Look out for a revised wedding video, by the way, because all that's gone out the window.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I think we maybe give it a couple of days or a week or so. We'll see what the announcements are with the new budget and with the new Help to Buy scheme, what that maybe means for us. It might mean that maybe we have a comparison. We can go the traditional Help to Buy route in England, at least, a bit different in Scotland. And go the new build and go down the equity loan route, or this new 95% mortgage route. But I don't know quite how the interest is going to work on that, and whether it might
that's
be
something
like
we're going to have to look into.
Maybe a much longer mortgage. But we'll wait and see until we get some details.
But so far,
it's an option.
Our favourite is definitely Needham Market.
Yes.
With that market town, the smaller developments, gorgeous houses, parking, less time to my work, still close enough to Ipswich.
And good enough for me getting to work.
Yeah, and good enough for Chris getting to work. So yeah, so that's what we're thinking. But hopefully this video has helped you if you are thinking about the Help to Buy. And we're going to be taking you along on our journey over probably the next couple of years, really, as we
it's not going to be immediate.
Start saving, as we continue looking, when we talk to things like solicitors, mortgage brokers.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Really vloggable material.
When we hopefully buy somewhere and move
decorating.
decorating. I can't
Trips
wait.
to IKEA.
Trips to IKEA.
Or maybe even nicer than IKEA.
Maybe.
Oak Furniture Land.
I don't think we're quite Oak Furniture Land people yet, but yeah, we're going to take you with us.
Yeah.
So there'll be lots more vlogs to come.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for watching. If you have liked this video, make sure that you subscribe. It really helps us. Also like and share the video, ring the bell for notifications, do all of that stuff. And as always, have a wonderful week. Bye.